Yes. Back again. Let me lower my mug. Yo, let's start it off lovely. Sue says, grab your coffee and you're ready for it. Brand it. Put a stamp on it. Tabersnackles. It's Thursday. Time for group. Can I get an amen? Oh, oh, oh. Get your tabersnackles, y'all. That is purely trademarked by Sue's. Tracy for the animals. What up, Ronaldo? I see you. I see middle-aged Steve Conley in the building. What up, Matt? I see you in the building. I see Notorious JRD's in the building. Parked early out front at the broken meter with the paper bag over the head. Pause. Mama Carla, I saw your good news today, Mama Carla. It's great to hear. Well, hello. Welcome to group, you guys. Let me clear the decks here. Let me get rid of reverse Drake. You ready for it? Well, hello. Welcome all and sundry back to Coffee Break with JN, part of the illustrious JN and Jamar Nicholas Network. You know how we do it. Thanks. Paul Pate, what up, Paul Pate? Paul Pate says JRD took my parking spot. Yeah, bro. You gotta get here early. I mean, that's right, Matt. You know it. When you hear the glass, that's your ass. Stone Cold Steve Conley. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. Well, hello. Tracy for the Animal says, this stream is like group therapy and I'm here for it. Pull up. Hashtag pull up. Smiling face with 3 hearts. I love it. Ronaldo says, Paul, you got to get the boot off the car first. You must have been watching Car Wars, another Philadelphia staple. Anybody ever here watch Parking Wars? Did I say Car Wars? That's an old tabletop game. Parking Wars, and all I need is a prompt. We're going right into Philly stuff. Parking Wars. I think it's on. What channel is that on? Reality shows where they just follow people who work for the PPA, the Philadelphia Parking Authority, around on their beats. It's very entertaining, I gotta say. It's very entertaining. That's right, Matt says, you were supposed to put a lawn chair in that parking spot. But you know what they do here in Philly. Where's it, John? You know what it is. Well, hello. Yo, what up, Trey? Yo, I got a special graphic for Trey. I'm gonna pull it out later. Pause. It's good to see everybody home. I see a lot of great people that I'm familiar with. Yo, Fletch is in the building. It's Thursday. Woo woo. That graphic is crazy. No, notorious. Dun, dun, dun. Bam, bam, bam. Jared D says Parking Wars is probably on the Learning Channel where no one learns a damn thing. Well, if you watch Parking Wars, don't park in front of the hoagie spot where there's a no parking sign because you're gonna get got. My man comes running out of the deli with his sandwich, like, my man, what happened? Told you, bro. Puts it under the wiper. Told you. Y'all don't listen. Yeah, you know it, bro. It's coming. Pause. Trey's getting a lot of love in the chat. Good to see y'all. I got into her later. I was too young at one point, then later I got into it. It's a family show. It's good to see y'all. I love when caffeines come home to roost. Let me give a shout out to the caffeines. You know who you are, caffeines. Sue's lead us in our sermon. Caffeines, you know the caffeines, friends and regulars, not decaf. Of Coffee Break with JN. And alternatively, the groupies, because we're here at Tabernacle, we're eating our tabernacle. Susan and Matt busted that one out last week. They're like, "Yo, what's up with Tabernacle? I got my snacks on deck." And I was like, "Sorry, I needed to hit the self-care button." You know what it is? The groupies, the alt caffeine name for the Coffee Break with Jay and regulars. C, coming to group. Read, coming to group. Let's see what's going on in the chat. We're all like 12 years old in this group. That's right. Trace for the Animals decodes what's going on in the chat, you bunch of dirty gum hustlers. So Stranger Things has renewed people's interest in Kate Bush's music. It's crazy, right? I guess that's the power of rehashing the 70s and the 80s, right? Sue says no decaf, y'all, but tabernacles are allowed. All caps. Put respect on the tabernacles. Jardine's messing with his blood glucose levels. Just finished some sweet potato cake. Tell us how did you make that or did you buy it? And if you bought it, what's the spot? You gotta tell. Yeah, I gotta put that on the leaderboard. So maybe we'll start there, you guys. Scooby Tabernacles. That sounds like a made up NPC name. Well, before we get into this, Suze, now that we have instituted tabernacles into the lexicon of Coffee Break with JN, tell me what you're eating right now. I know some of y'all are munching up. So what are we munching on right now? What did you bring to group? And I hope you brought enough to share. Suze, what are the tabernacles? Are they Goldberg chews? Are they Takis? Are they pork rinds? JRD says, nah, DC local that sells their wares through Wegmans. Oh, okay. Ronaldo had to we had to get a tip of the bucket for hose taste. Yo, Ronaldo, how the hose taste? That's what's up. Yeah, what are we eating on? Fletch is going back to Dungeons and Dragons night. Cool Ranch Doritos. I was about to do my lame Harry Carey. It's funny, Matt. I think of Mike every time I do that Will Ferrell Harry Carey thing. Hey, Colin, if the moon was made of cheese, would you eat it? I know I would. And wash it down with a tall, cool Budweiser. Cubs win. Cubs win. Suze is eating Cheez-It Snapped. Yo, those snaps are good. They're like the new Cheez-It mutation, and they're like puffed air, right? They're not like Cheetos puffs, but they're a little crunchy, right? Bros, what up, Bros? Sip of coffee. Oh, Bros gets the first sip of the night. Put your sippers up, you guys. Get your elbows up. We're gonna get our sippers up for my man Bros. Where is it? Bros says making dinner soon, so no snacking. Look at that. What a fully formed adult. Ronaldo is going back to the bodega with now and laters. Yo, what's the flavor combo? You got cherry lemon. What we doing? E, what up, E? E says just had some Crunch Bunch. Yo, that's what's up. Is that the toffee flavor? Wasn't there? There was like two versions of Crunch and Munch. There was one with toffee in it and one with like not toffee. I can't remember. That's funny. Um, blue raspberry on deck. You keep that. Yo, so when you get now laters, do you buy those at the supermarket? Where do you cop your now laters at? Because I know some of us live in a city, some of us don't live in the city. Some you may not have a bodega, and we talk about bodegas all the time. Bodega is a very New York thing, but it all means the same thing: a corner store or the neighborhood store. I'll even allow 7-Eleven to be a bodega of sorts. It's not the same energy, but and I think even further away from that would be Wawa. If you're on the, I used to be like a southeastern Pennsylvania thing, but they're starting to just spread out. So where do you cop these nowalators from? Like, do you buy candy from the supermarket? Or I almost forgot about the Dollar Tree, right? The dollar spots, which aren't a dollar anymore. I was in a different part of town, and I drove past this shopping center, and you're used to seeing Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Dollar John. I don't know. There's got to be more than one, but this place, Five Below, which isn't a dollar store, but this place was called. I think it was called a dollar or two. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, tell them trade $1.25 tree because inflation. Um, Trace says, "I love Crunch and Munch. They are much better than Cracker Jacks." Yo, that's facts. And they don't even put toys in the Cracker Jacks anymore. You would like dig down to the bottom of the joint and you pull out this real thin envelope and then you rip it and there's like nothing in it. You're like, and there might be like what do they have in it? Like a temporary tattoo of a dinosaur or something? Come on. Yeah, they're lacking. E says, toffee for me, the caramel isn't any. That's it. There's the caramel crunch and munch and the toffee crunch and munch. Got you. Ronaldo says, I snagged a bunch in Gettysburg, if you can believe, while I was on vacation at the small shop. I was in, and maybe you DMVians can tell me more about it. I was at a Stuckey's. Is that what it's called? Stuckey's or Snuckies? Snuckies is something else. That's where you get caught. You get sucker punched while you're waiting for the bathroom with the key with the like license plate on the side of it. And I was oh, you know what? That was a year that I was at Matt, what was that show at the beach? It was like what it was like it wasn't Fairfax Con, it was something something con. And I drove from Philly out to Virginia and I went like not 95, I went the other around the other side and it was very rural. And I stopped at the Stuckey's and I was like, "Oh shit, this is a real place." And I guess that was like a country bodega. And I got a can of peanut brittle, and I don't know how old that peanut brittle was, but it seemed like it had a tooth to it. Jared D says, "Isn't Crunch and Munch and Cracker Jack baseball slang for broken tooth?" Tooth, I like it. TOOF. Sue says, "Candy, I do strictly chocolate." Pause. Now and later, Skittles, Mike and Ike's are not my John. Huh. I had this. How about Tree Fitty? Uh, Crunch and Munch is the official mascot of Coffee Break tonight. Oh, JRD, come on, bro. You about to get canceled. JRD says, I love black licorice. Ah, I'm about to end the broadcast. I was laughing so hard. Spice drops and chocolate. You like root beer barrels, don't you? Yo, Marshall, what up, Marshall? Good to see you, my man. Marshall in the building. Jared says toffee is good stuff. Lousy for my jaws, but super tasty. Also, Snuckies is what you do when your folks will let you see your girl. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start a whole new folder just with hashtags. Marshall, tell us about Stuckies. What's up? Jared D's on fire. Stuckies is for folks who can't find Cracker Barrel. Yes, Tide Water. Thank you. It was something something, and I was very happy that I prayed to the gods of travel, and I had safe passage. Pause. No problems. That's the worst, and I even hate to talk that into existence. Matt says never buy the pecan log with dust on it. Would you buy a pecan log from the Stuckies? Black licorice is who hurt you, Candy. That's like I remember when and it seems like you don't see all the candy brands like you used to. But the something and something, I think that's Panferrara candy. The kings of the corner store, Panferrara, um, where it was there's like Mike and Ike's, right? There's Tell me if I'm wrong because it sounds like it's in the same wheelhouse. Mike and Ike's, Good and Plenty, and Good and Fruity. Watch it. Good and Plenty was for for like JRD's people. It was like a licorice sample pack. So it was the black, white, and the pink candy. And we canceled that. We deaded that. And then Good and Fruity was on point. But Good and Fruity and Mike and Ike's seemed like they should be in the same camp, but they didn't talk to each other very well. Yo, y'all I should just not be here and you guys can host coffee break. Everybody is like hitting 3 pointers out here. Buckets. He said Ronaldo said good and plenty tastes like bad feet. Oh yo, I'm hot. Yo, that's a lot. That's hilarious. Who hurt you? Oh, so that's it. If you go to Stuckey's, you have to get a pecan roll. Aren't they, like under glass or something? Matt says, I wanted to do a YouTube podcast about weird road snacks at out of the way gas stations. Yeah, maybe, Matt, maybe you should take over coffee break and do that. Carla says, see, you have people on your side, JRD. Carla says, don't hate on black licorice. It was the only candy I could eat with my first pregnancy. Wow. Shoes, you just discovered peanut. Oh, you got those Goldberg peanut chews. You caught the bug. Your nose is open to Goldberg. Yo, bad feelings was funny. I did not say white folks eat licorice. Oh, you know what? I think this is going to turn into a candy discussion. I used to be a giant fan of savor. Well, I have a visual a mental candy chart, and I want to talk about this like every week, and I never get around to it because it's a lot. And we may have talked about it years ago because I've been doing coffee break for almost 4 years. Is that right, JRD? But kind of like we did the Ninja Turtle personality test. Like, which Ninja Turtle do you kind of subscribe to? There's kind of like like a periodic table of candy, and I made this up. You won't find it somewhere. That's right. Um, where you kind of lay on a certain kind of grid in your like of candy. If you don't have a sweet tooth and you're not down with that, then all right, we'll put you in on the side. So, and we can discuss this. I always enjoy this conversation. There are categories. Almost think of it as like an Excel sheet where there's columns and then things break down from there. So there's, let's just say chewy, right? So under chewy, there's a fruit component. Is it fruity and chewy? Is it gummy? Gummy is different. Gummy is different than chewy. So I would say a chewy fruity candy would be Swedish fish, right? But a Swedish fish and a gummy shark aren't the same thing. And then underneath the gummies, you have sour, or that could be kind of like one of those cross concurrent things where it could be gummy sweet and sour, like trolley worms, right? And then kind of goes all. Then there's like hard candy, straight up glucose, like the Lickum-Aid stick that you dip, you, you coke nail dip into that powder in the pouch. You put a little on the tongue. I mean, all the way over to chocolate. Like, there's a lot of things. So rather than trying to do all of that, I'm going to ask you what is your candy type. So you can say something like candy bar, chocolate candy bar with like a nougat. You're like a nougat guy, or I like. I gotta be careful. Y'all gonna catch me slipping. I like peanuts. I like a payday bar, or I like peanut brittle. Right? Those are all kind of in the same funnel. So let's take a second and tell me what your candy type is. I'm also like, I can't eat this stuff anymore. I'm diabetic. And this is probably why I became diabetic. I love Twizzlers. When they invented the warehouse club, and we've got a Sam's Club membership, and I went in the candy aisle, I was just like, oh, the light was like, oh. And they had the Twizzler, the bucket of individually wrapped Twizzlers. I lost my mind. It was bad, y'all. Um, so yeah, let me hear what your type is. Ronaldo says peanut butter and peanuts is its own column. Yes, I was going to say that's savory, but I'm trying to think of like what other type of candy is savory. Maybe I guess that would be a peanut chocolate, like goobers or raisinets, or maybe I'm trying to think what else. You get what I'm saying. Trey, yeah, bro, I love Swedish fish. I was a big Swedish fish fan. I don't like gummy bears though. What about dots? That's fruity chewy, but the consistency isn't even Swedish fish, right? Tracy for the animals is I love chewy and gummy candy both. So it's in, yeah, okay. You feeling me? Jelly beans. Ronaldo just brought that up. Ronaldo says, to be fair, I would always see my black jelly beans for my father-in-law because he loved black liquor. Let's see what else. All right. Trellis Swedish Fish. Ronaldo says there are levels of gummy bear as well. Each brand is drastically different. That's correct. Conley, my diet is 90% candy cigarettes. You just blow it just like straight drywall dust out of your mouth. Trey's a peanut guy all the way. All right. Paul Pate, Milk Duds. Milk Duds for a movie, hot tamales for a road trip, Snickers for avoiding work. I hear Snickers really satisfies Paul. Matt says, I'm a candy omnivore. If it's not a Nico wafer, I'm all about it. Yo, those are like that's more sadness candy. But I love Smarties. If, it's Halloween, I might just buy a bag of Smarties just to put those to the side because nobody else likes them. I love Smarties, but Nickel wafers are gross. Now, would a chocolate pretzel be candy just because it has chocolate on it? Or is that more of a savory treat, right? I don't know. Discuss. This could go all night. JRD says, and I'm going to do an ID soon. JRD says, there's a candy that is a peanut covered in the maple fudge. They look like lice acorns. Is that a typo? Right. So, okay, how about we'll add to this. What about department store candy? And I know we've had a conversation about this because I talked about having a dalliance with department store candy. Or this is almost like grandma candy, the department store candy. When you used to go into Gimbals or one Strawbridge and Clothier for all you Philadelphians, or Harrods in London, because I get around Tupac. And you go to the department store, the candy section. There's a big glass case, and they have a little scoop. And you may get rock candy. You might get rock candy that has that has the little lollipop stick in it. It might be like dipped in powder. Um, oh, I almost forgot. One of my favorite things are sesame crunches. Those are kind of like the little kind of like the bow wrapped, like you would like untwist it with the cellophane, and it's a little tiny piece of honey with sesame seeds in it. I love sesame crunches. I probably ruined so many of my teeth eating those things. Also, orange slices, not like the globular orange slices, which I loved as a kid. But the ones that look like fake fruit slices. They come in different colors. The Flesh says, my favorites were the pure, the pressed, hard sugar type. Oh, I like pressed sugar. Sweet tarts. Oh, right. Sweet tarts, spree gobstoppers. What about bottle caps? And it's probably for the best that you just can't walk into your local Giant and buy that stuff. Like you gotta maybe go on one of those old school websites or go to Amazon and order that. It's probably best. Keep that out of your life. Tracy for the Animal says, I'm a fan of all the candy as long as it's vegan. My favorite flavor is peanut butter plus chocolate, but I also love gummies. How do you know if candy's vegan? I'm not being facetious. I just don't know. Like, is that something that you would see on the bag, or is that something you just kind of have to know how they make that stuff? Carla says, I love almond joys. Yes, mounds, peanut butter bars. Oh. Yeah, you know what? I feel like we talked about this maybe in a Halloween, but I think that was a very specific thing. We're talking about the worst Halloween candy, like the wrapped black and orange candy that like it doesn't have a name on it. It's just black and orange wrapped, and then I think those are just like mounds of honey or something. I'm not putting that on the screen, JRD. Ronaldo says, "What were the black licorice dots? They had their own. Are you talking about dots? Because dots came. That's like movie candy, right? Dots. They were like the little globules, but I think they had licorice ones too. Are you talking about candy buttons? Because candy buttons came on a strip of paper, and you would like rip them off and like let them melt on your tongue, right, JRD? Trey says, my friend loves the 7-Eleven brand gummy worms. Yes. Crows. Oh, I've seen those. Wow. You know your licorice. Trey says, ice cream Snickers bar for the win of Mad Fire. Atomic Fireball. What about Boston baked beans? That's more like bodega candy. Sue says, and I'm going to do a Sue's pose for you in a minute. I'm a chocolate and coconut girl. Mounds or almond joy. So like some gummy lifesavers. Matt and I love the Ferrero Rocher too. That's a fancy candy. Ferrero Rocher. Ferrero Rocher. Come on. Somebody asked earlier, what do you need to do to become a dirty gum hustler? Fletch, would you like to tell us how one can get jumped into the gang of being a hustler of gum? All right, I just asked that I wouldn't reverse. Hold on, Trey says the red candy with the strawberry wrapping on it, straight grandma. Oh, I think those are called cordials. No, cordials. That's more grandma candy. Cordials, aren't they like hard red beads? I'm gonna do it on TV. Ronaldo says, "I like those gummies that look like a slice of fruit, like a lime, lemon, or orange." Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Those are like fruit slices, and I guess they're gummy. I think they're sticky like gummies, but I don't think they tear the same. Jardy says, "To me, chocolate candy is the everyday stuff. Hershey's, M&M, Mars, Cadbury." I was in London once, and we went to I think we went to a Brentford footy match. It was really cool. We are in the middle of this town, and you're walking down from the regional train, and there's like little pubs on a corner with people like it was very Ted Lasso. It was very real. And we get to the stadium in the middle. It's just like in the middle of this neighborhood. And I went up to the concession, and the things you could buy was very specific. And one of the combos was you got a cheeseburger and a Mars bar. And I was like, I don't see how that blends, but I got it. It was delicious. And it was a perfect, like, sweet, savory. And I don't think I've had a Mars bar since. But I know the Mars brand of candy is big here, but it's hard to find a Mars bar. Yes. Where can you find Sesame Crunches now? And also a sip of coffee to the pound store. Not the pound store. The bulk. Remember Mr. Bulkies? Remember that was a thing before sneeze guards were a thing. This had to be like touching the end of the 80s. It had to have been like the late 80s where you could go to Mr. Bulkies and the whole store was just nothing but bins with scoops in it and those like hanging scales. So you could go in there and buy stuff by the pound in bulk. And it was such a ripoff because you're like, ooh, peanut M&Ms just free ball it in this bin. I'm gonna load up, and you get your little John, you put it together, and it's like $99,000. I'm glad I wonder how many people got E. coli from Mr. Bulky's. Dippin' Dot. Oh, wait a minute. Dippin' Dots like the ice cream or candy buttons, which were on a strip of paper. uh, Did they fry the mud? No, you know what? I think that was an option, but I didn't get that. Trey says that strawberry candy is called strawberry buds. I never knew that. Go ahead, man. We're learning stuff. Yeah, bro. You just gotta take that to the head. Pause. Let me know how that was. All right, let's do an ID. I'm all sweaty now. You're watching Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN. Internet safe space and hairbrusher. I also go by many other names. Let's kind of categorize this. I have a lot of nicknames. Some are more popular than others. I seem to welcome all types of John adjacent uh, nicknames. But I do not like, this is funny, I don't like when people try to alter my name. Um, Anytime somebody tried to give me a nickname that was like some sort of play off of my name, I hated it. Um, but I do it myself. Like, like I remember somebody was like, "Yo, jammin'." I'm like, "Ugh, just no, none of that." But you can call me Captain Scholastic. You can call me Philly Donahue, Johnny Carson, the captain of this ship, Jean Luc Picard. Engage. Tell him number one, make it so. And also other things. But you can also call me the leader of this group discussion tonight. Welcome to Coffee Break with JN. What happens here? You get to hang out with me, cartoonist Jamar Nicholas, and watch me drink this coffee out of the Is It Thursday Yet branded Coffee Break with JN mug. This is like a HSN infomercial. And run my mouth. And when I'm out of coffee, you ready for it? This is just for you, Trey. Thanks for hanging out tonight. All right, what are we doing? You like that? Trey says, Jared D, is that mug for sale? Is it a gift? You can cop it. Trey, you can go right now and cop it. I'm going to give you the URL, but it might be better if JRD puts it in the chat. Is this it, or did it change again? You can go to JRD's site and get your own Is It Thursday Yet Coffee Break with JN swag. You can have so much JN drip. You can go to the club and stun on all of them. Be like, yo, y'all ain't even up on this coffee break onesie, these coffee break with Jay and Hoochie Daddy shorts. You ain't ready with the slides and the socks. Bruh. They ain't ready, bro. They ain't ready for this trip. But yeah, get that mug. Oh, right. And I put this together. I think this is going to be a coffee break shirt. It's just got to have that Run DMC video over. That's very on brand for us. I hope you enjoyed that. That was for you, my man. Yo, Stunt Kid in the building. Yo, what up? Let's get a sipper for my man K Dub. K Dizzle in the building. Put your sippers up, y'all. Y'all know when Kenny Wong's in the building, everything just breaks loose. What am I doing? Sip of coffee. My undiagnosed ADHD is flaring tonight. K Dub, what's up, bro? Oh, is that what it is? Did you put the other one in there? Grand pun with gifts. Okay. Fletch, to go back into the dirty gum hustler, Suze. Fletch says, Suze, to be a dirty gum hustler, a DGH, you need to buy gum by the pack and sell it by the piece to a bunch of gum Jones and middle school kids. Yo, do you even break it down? Do you like break it one in half for the kids that the money's short? Ronaldo says, I'm waiting for the coffee break starter jacket. Does it say coffee break JN on it? And you open it up like that? Yo, we can make a varsity jacket. No, we don't have Hoochie Daddy shorts, but we should get them. Yo, Stuntkin says, what do we miss? We've been talking about candy for 40 minutes. Matt, you were flipping soda? How did that work? Would you like go buy a case of cheer wine and then break it down in the hallway? I need to hear. Inquiring minds want to know. That was funny. So, Stuntkin, you got to tell us what is your candy type? Meaning, do you like candy bars? Do you like Twizzlers? You know, there's gummy, there's chewy, there's fruity, there's sour, there's sweet and sour, right? Like, what would you call? Oh, like what do you call it? The sour patch, like a sour patch kid is a sour, like a dumb sour gummy candy. What about Razzles? Razzle is that's gum, right? Oh, I didn't even talk about gum. What about Jawbreakers? That's department store candy. You made paper fortune tellers. That's like the I remember the girls would be in the back of the class and they would make that, and it was like, who's your boyfriend? Stunt Ken. How old is he? How many babies do you have? And they do the. That's kind of like school origami. Is that what you're talking about? I think that's it. Stunt Ken says he signs on with a Reese's Pieces or a Butterfinger. Pause. Or and right now, I do enjoy a peanut butter chocolate. I like a Reese's cup. I think they went too far with the Reese's, like the big Reese's cup. Reese's Pieces. It's funny. I remember when Reese's Pieces was new. That was like early '80s when ET came out. That didn't exist before that movie, or did it? I'm so one of you fact checkers could probably talk to that. So Matt says selling that big K cola made 5 cents per can. There's never been recycling in Pennsylvania, that as far as I know. You couldn't like recycle cans here. I'd freeze them so they'd still be cold at lunch. Then one exploded in mom's freezer. That's a thing. Like you open it, it just looks like a tauntaun exploded in their freezer. What happened? I don't know. I don't. Jared D says jelly babies are much better than Sour Patch Kids. I'll take your word for it. Trey says, crazily enough, I never knew how to make those. You know what I'm talking about. It's like I'm like doing a jutsu or something. I'm about to call a nine-tailed fox. I gotta be careful with my ninja magic. Stunt Ken. Oh, Jojo, I see you. You just crept in here. Stunt Ken says, I'm all about Reese's Pieces, both the regular. I said that like a New Yorker. That was for you, Kenny. Regular and peanut butter cups, Butterfingers, Haribo cola gummies. That's specific. What about wax? This is straight bodega stuff. Remember, you would get the wax. Wait, that's not what you're talking about. The wax Coke bottles. There would be like a strip of little soda bottles. It was just wax with a little piece of juice in it, and I think you would like take the top off and like which also kind of coincides with like gum, like wax lips. Like, was that? Did you eat that? I never understood wax lips. Circus peanuts, all that stuff. Jojo, what up, Jojo? Jojo says cherry clams. That's all. That's it. Yo, cherry clams are bomb. And you know what? I can't eat that stuff, but there was one time I visited Carlos at his media job, and they had a kitchen. They had like a office kitchen, and they just had apothecary jars full of candy. And one of them had the chair, like the sweet. What are those called? Sour cherry balls. Oh my god, I'm 13 years old. And I was like, "Yo, can I work here?" I would just be in there with like tooth decay in the kitchen. Yizzo, yizzer, what up, Jizzo? Trey's like, I thought Reese's Pieces were new, like 2000s. And nah, bro, those are from the 80s, fam. Uh, I want to think, and I could be wrong, that they invented Reese's Pieces when ET came out because Elliot trapped ET by putting Reese's Pieces on the ground and he followed the trail. And I don't remember Reese's Pieces being around before that movie. There you go, JRD. Come on, fact checkers. I knew it. JRD never lets me down with the fact check. Spielberg got Reese's Pieces made basically because Eminem wouldn't work with him for ET. Yes, I gotta give you a sipper for that, bro. Sip of coffee for JRD, pulling that one out of the fire. Stop talking now, or I'm gonna throw you in the fire. With the Chucky doll, that's one of my favorite things. Sip of coffee for JRD. You earned this sipper. Oh, okay. Nerds. Oh, I love Nerds. That Nerds is like a man, I guess we're getting so old, that's not even like a new candy. I remember when Nerds came out in the mid early '80s. And it seemed like such sorry. You you see how this works. Coffee makes me sleepy rather than makes me hype. Um, I think you felt like you were getting a lot for your money because Nerds had heft to it. And like the Nerds was this one candy and another candy, and they're almost like it was almost like fruity granules of sugar. It was almost like they were fried and they coated with whatever flavor you were after. So like watermelon, lemon, and there'd be watermelon on one side and lemon on the other side, and then they had these little like spouts. Like you could like pull these things back. You could pull it back with your thumb. They're gonna throw me off the air. You would pull it back with your thumbs. To one side, the cartoons look like little like big butted aliens, but that was like the representation of the nerds. And you could either like open one side and like take it to the head, or you'd open both and like mix them in your mouth. That's so funny. Did I scare everybody away? People stopped commenting. Razzles, what up, Big Joe? I see you. Good to see you, my man. Jojo says, I kind of miss Pop Rocks. You know what they did to Mikey. Tracy for the Animals coming in with the fact check. Reese's Pieces was invented in 1978, according to Google. Really? That just is. I don't know. Yeah, Razzles. We talked about Razzles. Matt says, when we used to work all nighters, we need warheads to stay awake and laugh our butts off. Fletch says M&Ms wasn't allowed to be used in ET, but Reese's Pieces were new. Okay, M&Ms wasn't allowed to be used in ET, but Reese's Pieces were new but not popular. That makes sense because like ET is what 1980 when that came out. That tracks. I like the mint M&M type candies called Royals back in the day. I know what you're talking about. That's those not to be confused with Jordan almonds, as there's a scene in Bridesmaids where Kristen Wiig has diarrhea and she's having a face off with the girl in the wedding dress shop. She's like, "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm fine." And there's like sweat dripping down her face. "Would you like a Jordan almond?" She's like, "Oh shit." Pixie Sticks, yes, Pixie Sticks was a great motivator for young people to work. Oh man, I'm running out of energy. Have a Pixie Stick. What do you want me to lift next? Yeah, that tracks, right? It tracks. Oh yeah, we're all old in here, bruh. Bridesmaids is a funny movie. I'm sorry. All right, you guys, we're running out of time, and I didn't do my snooze pose yet. I'm gonna do it. Hold on. Ronaldo says Canadian candy is like a whole different world. That's true. When we visit my mom's family, it was like conquering a new country. Yeah, they had isn't the Score bar is Canadian, isn't it? And I just sent somebody a gift basket with Canadian candy in it. And I remember seeing Score and what name some of the Canadian candies. Oh no. But they paid the price for that. Did they like cut it up real nice with a credit card? I'm sure that seemed funny at the moment. There you go. JRD says maple creams and coffee crisp. That sounds like really bad Ninja Turtle villains. Oh no, guys, watch out! It's coffee crisp. Yeah, you turtles. I stay crunchy in milk. No. Smarties, but they're chocolate. Is that what those are, really? Wow, y'all caping for Canadian candy. That's a lot of C's. My favorite Canadian candy is the Big Turk bar and the Crispy Crunch. I've never had either of those. Now I'm intrigued. Maple creams do sound good, don't they? Oh, you know what I like? This isn't really candy, guys, but if you do you guys have Aldi's where you live? Aldi's is a good place to get some kind of like more like I guess Euro food, but I like that they have food for a decent price and like you can make a really good meal out of stuff at Aldi's. But my favorite thing is the stroopwafel, which is almost like a pizzelle, right? A pizzelli, which is kind of like that pressed cookie, almost like a waffle, but it's real thin. And then there's a thin layer of caramel in between it. Oh, also this isn't candy. What do we call I almost answered my own question. What do we call candy that's not candy, but it's sweet? I guess it's cookies, right? What is a vanilla wafer would be a cookie, or is it candy? I went hard in the paint as a kid with vanilla wafers. Stroopwafel. Sunken says, "I was shocked to see Aldi here after living in Germany for 7 years." Also, like Carrefour. Carrefour is a big European thing, but in the the mid '80s, Carrefour started showing up here, and there was a giant Carrefour. Jojo, you remember this up in Franklin Mills? I think they call it Philadelphia Mills, in a giant area, which I feel used to be like a a rainforest or something. There was a super, super, super store, and it was called Carrefour, and they have them in Europe. And I swear to you not, the place was so big, the kids working in there were on roller skates. I'm gonna pour some of my coffee out for Franklin Mills. Oh, good night, Marshall. Good hanging out with you, bro. Get that good rest. Wafers or cookies. Thank you. Good. All right, Carl. I'll see you. It seemed like we had a strong hour, then people got a dip. I have not been in the Little Lidl yet, but I know they're around. Yo, you get the big container. Yo, you like all these nuts? Did Yo, you know what? They may have. I remember there were like, I think there was a micro center. They were so like you had to make. Yeah, they probably did. That was a really kind of high end mall for a minute. Then it crashed and went down really bad. JoJo says, I do remember I worked at Major Jewelers in the green section. You worked at Franklin Mills? I remember when Franklin Mills first opened, and got up. I went up there on a bus. I forget was it the R or something? To fill out a job application, and they didn't hire me. It's probably for the best. I wanted to work at the Rekisto. All right, you guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. But I would be remiss if I did not do my Sue's pose. You guys get your elbows ready. Suze, did you enjoy your tabernacles? Did I entertain you tonight? I put my hand upon your hip, then I dip, you dip, we dip Sue's pose. Pose so cold you thought the screen froze. Night, Ronaldo. E says you have to put your stroopwafel over your cup of freshly poured hot tea until it gets good. What? Yo, you just unlocked a whole thing for me. Is that a thing? So it's kind of like you make your tea and then you just kind of put it on top, like you just like cap it off and then it gets soft. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do, you guys? Tabernacles were great compliment to Tabernacle. Amen, brother JN. Thank you. Trey, what's the takeaway from tonight, you guys? What have we learned here tonight? Trey says, what I learned tonight was Mars bar plus cheeseburger. I love it. Also, we learned more about some of you guys. All right, everybody, I get it. We're leaving. I'm a bounce. Hit you up in a few. I'll be in town. What's up? That's what's up. Get those troop waffles, y'all. Cop those. One of my favorite lines was it from Junior Mafia and Lil Kim. I'm trying to cop those colossal size Picassos. That's right. And liquor and black licorice tastes like sadness. Sad. Oh, you guys, I gotta finish this coffee so we can go. Some housekeeping. I will not be here next week. I will be away at San Diego Comic Con. Um, I can't say I'm going to be reporting from the floor or anything like that. I have scholastic business to attend to, but keep me in your prayers, you guys. I'm very excited. And then I don't know if we're going to do one the week after that. I'm thinking about making some changes, y'all. I need you caffeines to come through for me. I don't know. I think I'm ready to leave the land of the socials and bring coffee break to the Patreon. What do you guys think? Hmm. All right, you guys. Thanks so much. Let's get out of here. I'm gonna put this on for Trey. Or did Trey leave already? All right, guys. Love you all. I'll say good nights. You've been watching Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN, known around the Commonwealth as the Black Dusty Rhodes, the leader of Group Zartan, mercenary for the Cobra organization, uh, and also Jean Luc Picard, the captain of the ship. Engage, make it so. Tea Earl Grey, hot. What happened here tonight? You got to hang out with me and the caffeines. You know who you are, caffeine, and you watched me sip this coffee and run my mouth. Now, now that I'm out of coffee, mm, hold on, you guys. Cop the book. Get Leon 10 for good buddy. Don't forget, get one for you and your grandma. Have a great weekend.